What's going on, everyone? Chris here from Carlton Gaming, and welcome to the final episode of Sonic Unleashed. This video is going to contain the beta and unused content that wasn't seen in the final game. Let's start out with the title screen. In the HD version, because what else is new, HD always gets the love. The title screen usually looks like this, but there's an unused title screen that also looks like this. This is a really unique design. I kind of see a little bit why they changed it, but yeah, I still like it. One thing that I actually wish they kept was this cool main menu screen. This is really cool. This is based off the design of Tails' device where he communicates with Professor Pickle, and also where they show those clips of the world coming together. I really do like this. This is a really nice design. It's kind of too bad that they got rid of it, though. Maybe I can kind of see where they're coming from, because the more I look at this kind of reminds me of Spy Kids. Moving on, after the title screen, it goes to, where else, the main cutscene. Well, unless if you're playing the Wii version, in that case it's switch opposites. I don't know why they did that. Anyways, the opening cutscene actually had a part that was cut out in the final product. When Sonic got caught in Eggman's ray, there was some graphical imaging that you could see Sonic's skeleton. I can kind of see why they got rid of this, because even though there are games like Mario Galaxy, for example, that show off that in Mario's death animation, that only lasts for a couple of seconds. This feels like it drags for a while, especially since that's the main focus of the cutscene. Yeah, it can get a little dark, especially when you see Sonic in that much pain. Yeah, I definitely see why they got rid of this. Besides, even if they didn't get rid of this, then we wouldn't have this awesome Sonic screaming meme face that the fandom makes fun of on social media all the time. Seriously, you have no idea how popular this was when it first came out. This was a trend that lasted for generations, a lot more than, well, generations. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if there's still memes on this today. Anyways, moving on, we got some more unused content to show off in the HD version, but what about the Wii version? Well, apparently even in the unused department, the Wii version gets the shaft. The only sources I was able to find in this version is this pod of a 1-Up Life. I'm guessing this used to be in Sonic 06. I wouldn't know, I haven't played the game. I know I have a life, but in all seriousness, this probably was an extra life, but they just scrapped it for the new one that we got in the final. The other is that in Apatos, before you go up and face the Interceptor, there's a trail of rings that you're supposed to lightspeed dash on. It's obvious to say that this was supposed to be used for a ring mission, but I kind of would like to think this was tested to see how the lightspeed dash would work diagonally. Who knows, it probably was going to be a tutorial in the beginning as well. And in this specific ring mission, you actually face off against the Interceptor, where in the original missions you couldn't do that because it was always at the beginning of the level. And apparently in this one, Sonic knew how to fly. Either that or Chip was trying to carry him through the level so he wouldn't get hit. This was probably cut in the final product because you couldn't get any rings until you were behind the Interceptor, making it less likely to beat the clock by trying to get all the rings that you could. And that is all the beta and unused content in the Wii and PS2 version, while we barely dipped our toe in the HD version unused content. I've come way too far to give up on my favorite version of this game, so instead, I'm going to talk about one more thing about this version. And that is how to play this game on a GameCube controller. I've said in the past that I wanted to show off how the GameCube controller works in this version. However, I wasn't able to show it because I was recording on the Wii U. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the footage on my original Wii console. Oh, and if you're wondering why I'm not showing off the classic controller, that is because I do not own one and I'm not able to show it off to you. Anyways, let's get started. When playing on the GameCube controller, Chip has alternate dialogue for this controller system.
If you press the B button while cornering, you can drift. Press the A button to tackle an enemy. Once it's full, press the Y button to do a Sonic boost. Press the B button to slide, Sonic. Press the L button or the R button to do a quick step. Alternate the R button and the L button presses to attack.
Those are all the available ones I can find because the rest of them require me to play the game all the way, which, yeah, not gonna happen. So here we are back at the world map. We basically went through every continent that we could ever fix. But what if I told you that there is a continent that we actually haven't seen before? Yes, in all of 20-something episodes, we haven't been to all the continents. Well, rather, we can't. There is one continent right here that we can't go in this version, but you can actually go in the HD version. This location is called Empire City, a continent based on the US, specifically New York. Here are the soundtracks to the stages and hub worlds depending on day and night. Enjoy. Not gonna lie, this is my first time actually hearing these soundtracks, and I gotta say, it's really cool. Like in the hub menus, the Days version sounds like a really cool like street vibe where you see like the jazz band playing outside in the streets. That's really cool. The nighttime, for whatever reason, sounds like Animal Crossing. And as for the stages, for some reason, I just hear a James Bond movie. I tried to look up as much as I could, and from what I could tell, the reason that this was cut off from the standard version was because that there wasn't enough room on the hard drive, which makes sense. PS2 and also Wii don't really have the best hardware compared to the PS3 and 360. There are also other sources saying that it didn't really go with the story as well. It was just more of like a bonus/side thing or something like that, which I guess I could kind of see because there wasn't really a lot of story progress on that one. Also, just to add something here, is it just me or does it look like Mario Odyssey kind of copied some of these building designs? I mean, I know they're both based off New York and, you know, you can only make, you know, your own and, you know, kind of stylized similar to New York of so much, but don't these look like really similar to each other? Sketchy, sketchy. Speaking of stages unused in the Wii version but somehow used in the HD version, Mazuri was not just going to be a boss battle. It also has day and night stages as well. Here's what they sound like. Does anyone else hear a Tarzan/Lion King soundtrack, or is that just me? I really wish this was in the Wii version because this is so cool. Just look at the sands and just how upbeat the track is. Heck, I think this was one of the trailers for Sonic Unleashed back then. On the topic of Masery, there's also some early geometric designs that show where Sonic would run to. There's also another one where Sonic is running in Masery and Apatos, but the textures look a little off. I'm guessing this was either leaked or tested out in debugging purposes. In the miscellaneous department, there are these contraptions where you have to hit a button that you see not only in the HD version, but also in the standard version. This is what it looks like now, this is what it looks like before. Glad they changed it. Going back to the geometric designs, this is some early data of what I'm guessing is Green Hill Zone, though they probably scrapped it because they probably didn't want to repeat a lot of other Sonic games. I sure wish Lost World and Forces took that advice. Next up, there's this 1-up capsule that Sonic is getting in Chunnan, I believe, though it's kind of hard to see it. Ha! Joke's on you! Us Wii versions get it better than you guys did for once! I am way too excited about that. Speaking of digging myself out of a hole, there's this alternate version of either Apatos or Spagonia where Sonic is in this pile of trash. Not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I thought he was in a pile of skeletons. Now, digging myself out of that hole for real this time, there's an alternate version of Eggman Land that we didn't get to see, which definitely has the crazy Eggman vibe to it, but it doesn't really have that very evil look to it. It definitely looks cool, but yeah, I can definitely see why they got rid of this. This next one's not really an unused stage, but an unused what I think is a hub world of Sonic and Chip in Professor Pickle's office in Spagonia. This looks really cool! Why wasn't this in the official product? I don't care if it was not in the HD version. This should have been in it! Also, I know the sunlight is beaming down on Professor Pickle and especially Sonic, but is it just me or does it look like Sonic is see-through? I don't know. I think I've always thought of that when I first saw this. Next, we're already done with a lot of the day stuff, so what do you say we switch over to the Werehog? No, seriously. There's some unused data of Sonic switching to the Werehog that we haven't seen before. Right now I'm playing a low quality clip from the final one in the HD version because I don't own an official copy of the HD version. I know, I'm lame. Go ahead and make fun of me. But in all seriousness, I'm showing you a comparison here because I want you to see how different it is in the beta version. You can obviously see there's not a lot of texture in the fur of the Werehog or in the texture of the spikes at all. You can also see Day Sonic is more light blue than the one we got in the final. It kind of reminds me of classic Sonic in some regard. Enough talking about Day Sonic, we already switched over to the Werehog, so let's give the Werehog some more love! I sure wish more people would say the same thing, but hey, what can you do? The HUD is actually different here, showing that there wasn't any unleashed power, but there was shield, which I'm guessing was like part of his defenses, and vitality, which I'm guessing was his health. I don't know why they came up with that. To add more laughs, here's Sonic holding a bazooka, which I never thought I would see, and honestly, when I first saw this, I actually kind of laughed. It's pretty funny. There were also some monsters that were cut out because these kind of look like ghouls when I first saw this, so it might have been a little scary to some kids, maybe. Although, now that I look at it again, they kind of look like hands now, making a fist. And now, you can never unsee it. You're welcome! Now that that's done, I actually want to head into the extras menu. I know we've been here before, but I felt like I didn't go here in full. As you may have known, well, if you saw last episode, there is one clip that we uncovered from that secret file. I would like to show this off. I've said in the past that there are some alternate cut scenes of Chip and Sonic's adventures. This is one of them. Here it is. It's not only here in this version, but it's also in the extras version in the HD version as well. The only difference is the HD version actually has the English voice cast, while this version actually has the Japanese voice cast. But I decided to take the English audio and put it over this one because the last thing I need to hear is Chip going. I know this is originally from Japan, but he just sounds like a 12-year-old girl to me, okay? Anyways, as I was saying, there are some clips just like this where Sonic and Chip are going through the regions. But, unfortunately, since the Wii version is just not that good of a system, it's on the HD version instead. But I was able to pick those clips up and show them off to you. Here you go.
Huh?
Ta-da!
Oh!
I'm just gonna say this, Chip is my spirit animal. It's obvious this wasn't shown in the main story because it would probably add a little bit of derailment in the whole thing, but I'm glad that they kept these scenes because they're just so good not to skip. Speaking of which, there is another clip of Sonic and Chip's adventures, but it's actually in a full-length short. It is called Sonic Unleashed Night of the Werehog. This is more of a side bonus if nothing else, but still shows the story of Chip and Sonic's adventures. To put it short, it's just basically Sonic and Chip explore a haunted house and they're trying not to get their pants scared off them. Even though they don't really wear any pants. I would say maybe fur or spikes or something like that. Actually, it could be fur considering what Sonic transforms into. The story is just simple and cute. It's nothing really too groundbreaking, and I'll be honest, the ghost designs I really don't like. There is this female ghost that I really like, that I think the design looks cute, but the other ghosts just, I don't know, they just don't look creative, and they just remind me of a Casper movie. In fact, now that I think about it, it kind of looks more like a beta design of Luigi's Mansion ghost for like Dark Moon and actually 3 as well. Another kind of skeptical thing that Nintendo / the Mario universe might have stolen off from, again, sketchy. I make it sound like it's horrible and not worth watching, but it's not. It's actually cool. I mean, there are some cool, charming moments. It's just nothing really spectacular. It's basically it's basically meant for kids, and it's honestly just a, you know, search the haunted house. Oh my gosh, the house is haunted. You're about to get your pants scared off. Yada, 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 yada. Like, I keep saying that, even though they don't wear pants. Chip does steal the show, don't get me wrong, and to its credit, the ending is pretty cool. Though I will say, aside from the ghost designs, I don't like how it starts out in a dark and stormy night, and Sonic hasn't transformed until the moon shows up, and then by the time it becomes daytime, Sonic is still in the Werehog form. Yeah, it's weird. I'm not a huge fan of that. I know it was supposed to be a side thing, and it's supposed to be played for laughs and charm and all that, but yeah, I would kind of like to think they should have stayed with the material considering what it's based off of, but again, I'm probably harping too much as it is supposed to be more of a side thing and nothing a part of the main series. I recommend checking it out at least once, even if you're not a huge Sonic fan, because it is a very entertaining watch despite of my critiques on it. So I'll leave a link to the video in the description below. And that is every single little hidden thing of Sonic Unleashed, both in the standard version, which is the Wii and PS2 version, and in the HD version, which is the Xbox 360 and PS3. Also Xbox Series X, which you can play, but whatever, we're not going to get into that. But what if I told you there's actually a third version of this game? Yes, I didn't get to mention it because I didn't find the right time to mention it until now. This is the version of Sonic Unleashed on mobile phones. You're probably thinking, so what? There's been mobile versions of Sonic games all the time. How is this any different? Well, here's the thing. This was released in 2009, a year after both original versions came out. But this was before any mobile operating system was even invented, so you had this lame 2D 8-bit section that looks like something out of a 90s computer. You have these 8-bit sound effects that are so muffled, it's not even funny. A lot of the time there's barely any music, and the control panel takes half of the screen. It's so dumb! Whose idea was this? I can't help it. It's I can't help but laugh to think that this was actually a thing. Oh, man. Look how dumb the Werehog looks even. I mean, the original Sonic sections, they look okay, but they don't look any better as the one from the 90s. It actually looks worse, and the Werehogs just look really stupid. Oh, man. I'm sorry, look at the lives in the ring bar. They take up most of the screen too, so you barely see anything. And this was before, you even had, really big screens on mobile devices, so they were so small that you couldn't see anything. Man, look at the Werehog runs. It's so dumb. I don't know what they made them think this way. I don't know what made them think to make this, but it's just hilarious. Alright, this thing has more details to go over. There are only 4 continents available in this version. Apatos, Mazuri, Spagonia, and Chunnan. Pretty much the very beginning stages. And speaking of which, of course Mazuri has playable stages in this version, whereas in the Wii and PS2 version didn't get any of that. It was just a boss battle. How does this make up for it? Is Sega trying to make the Wii and PS2 version the worst system ever? Because I kind of like to think so, especially since they were on the Nintendo system and they had that rivalry back then or something like that. I don't know. This version is so bad, the story in it doesn't even make sense. First, Sonic transforms to the Werehog thanks to Eggman, and so Sonic goes through the day stages by himself. Then all of a sudden, when he just goes to the end, all of a sudden he just transforms into the Werehog, and then the sky just goes dark. How does that make any sense? And to think, this was a year after both the original versions were released, so some developer was saying, hey, kids seem to like mobile games more than console games, let's make them one. And this is the best thing they could just scrap up. I'm sorry, no amount of seriousness that went into the development of this game will make this any less funny. So after I decided to gather my composure from this, I gotta add more laughter to this. This makes me think of an Irish jig. I can't help it. It sounds like an Irish jig to me. Anyways, let's not talk about that because there's still one more topic we need to go over, and that is the art. Not in just terms of the art here, because we will be going over these in due time. Lots sooner than you think, actually. But there's also art in the unused department that I would like to go over. There was some concept artwork very early in the development of this game. Starting off with this one of the Titans and Big Mothers as well as the Nightmares, it looks like it's like some sort of like cycle of them. It looks like they're like going over designs of which one was good and which one was bad, hence the dead word on them. But then again, we don't see it on the other ones that we haven't seen before. You can see the original Nightmare and Deep Nightmare on the upper left. I'm guessing the ones below were alternate designs of the Nightmares as well. I really do like the one with the fire. Like, that looks like a really great final boss. Like, that looks really cool. You can see the original design of the Big Mothers, but you can also see above it is the alternate designs of Big Mothers. They just honestly look like frogs to me. And the Titans look cool, actually. I mean, they kind of look similar to the original, but yeah, this is a pretty cool concept art. It really makes me think what would happen if they kept the other designs. This next monster is a really weird, like, gargoyle or other kind of nightmare. I would have liked to think they're like different elementals. Actually, this could have been like the evolution of the dark bats. You can see like the thunder one on the lower right. Then there's like this like green fire one that looks really cool. Wow, these are just like really good concept arts. Aside from the monsters, there's also some art concept work of the Werehog as well. Starting off with this really feral wolf kind. I'm guessing they got rid of this because it was a little too scary, but at least they got some of the concept right. There's also another one where he has like these like weird like fire symbols on top of him. That looks pretty cool. There's also one where for some reason he looks like a woolly mammoth. And then there's one where one side has this like really cool stripe design, which has this like cool tiger look. It would have been really cool if they like lit up or something when he transformed. And then the other one looks like he's about to be a rap star. Essentially, Chip had alternate designs depending on what he was going to look like as well. I kind of like the second one, you know, the middle top one. I know he kind of has that like little snarky look, but I guess they kind of had to go more so for the first one because they wanted to make him look cute. But I like the one with the bandana on it. The third one on the top right, like that looks cool. He has this like cool look to him. And then there's this like little bird that's, I guess that was their start out at first. But yeah, the other ones on the bottom look weird. I'm not a huge fan of it. But, you know, you gotta start somewhere. And that is every single beta and unused content in all of Sonic Unleashed. We are done. Nothing else to do but go over the art as planned. I'm just going to go over them really quick because there is a lot of artwork, so I'm just going to be skipping them for a couple of seconds. If you want to see them for yourself, just pause the video if you want to look at the details. And while I'm going through these, I want to give my thoughts on the project as well as giving my thank yous to some people. First off, I want to thank off Neo Techno Man for not only giving the footage of the HD version for this video for the unused scenery and all that, like Masery and Empire City, but also just for the footage of the HD version in general. There's a lot of stuff in the HD version that I wanted to show off, and I never got to do that because, I don't have a copy of the HD version. So he was happy to oblige to help me out, and just want to say if you're watching this video, I didn't credit you on episode 4 where I was showing off the airplane thing. I forgot to put it in, and I just want to let you know you deserve all the credit. So honestly, thank you so much. This wouldn't have happened without you. Next, I actually want to thank Anon7906 and Agnes on GameFAQs for giving me the item guide so I can find every item. Even though, let's be real, I botched that really badly. I thought I was getting every item and I thought I was doing it right, but unfortunately it was my fault. So I messed that all up. In fact, we didn't get all the items until later on, so yeah. But in all seriousness, they're the ones who really helped me out. I just couldn't read. So really, in all actuality, you have helped me with this so much. So you deserve all the credit, so thank you. With all that, as we gauge at this beautiful scenery here, I wanted to let you know something. As we're about to put this series finally to an end, I want to mention something. If you're watching this in the present day, I had a hard time trying to update this series, and I have a perfectly good reason for this. I had a tough time uploading the series fully. In fact, I had a hard time trying to put this video together. Mostly because I've had a really tough time just going through this after we saved the world. After we saved it, it just felt like people were not taking this world seriously. And the fact that no one cared about the world that we saved, it just got me into this little depression of, was this world worth saving? And I had a little bit of depression, honestly. There was just a lot of things going on, and won't get too personal, but after saving the world, I thought we were gonna all live in harmony, but there was just a lot of things that just got way too real. And there's a time where you just want to get away from it all. You just want to get away from reality. And right now, even though this was really tough to edit, and I spent a lot of my time trying to edit this last video for the series for you guys, I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a longer break. But pretty soon, I hope we can go to a place where reality doesn't exist. Of course, we still got some things to do, but I hope we can still have fun doing it. Let's just get away from reality for a little bit on the next series. With that, I hope to see you guys next time. And enjoy the pieces of artwork. And I'll leave you with this one last conclusion. I'll see you guys next time.
Huh?
I'll never forget you. I'll be here by you, always. A part of the earth you tread.
Apparently Sonic wanted to forget you because we don't see this bracelet through the rest of the Sonic series. It's just a shame because it looks so freaking cool. I have a feeling Sonic just took it to his room only to lose it at the side of his bed like one day later. What was the point of this? I mean, making an ending like this to make us think there's gonna be a sequel to this game? That's just pure troll shit.
This is my